This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh. They knew me for the old me. They can't stop me now, I'm with the home team. No beginner, I'm a winner. Took a couple losses, now I'm cooking, let me simmer. Yeah, tunnel vision, all I see is win, 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 win. This my city section where you been. We move faster along, but go further together. We can weather any weather forever. A dream team, I done seen things. Confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team, I had celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh. You probably thought you knew. A new day is approaching, turn the gray skies into blue. I grew up on these same blocks, school of hard knocks. Had to get it on a hard time, took the hard shots, but we made it. Anticipated, highly decorated. The home team is winning, celebrated. The victory is all mine, and everything is alright. And you know how to see things, confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team, I had celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh.
It's my cut right there. What up, though? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Spiked Kool Aid we've been on for like 2 weeks straight, bro. So we are doing the darn thing over here, man. Shout out to everybody. Welcome to Spiked Kool Aid for Friday, November 21st, 2025. You guys can see from the thumbnail, man, and you watch the Lions Syndicate video that Sam LaPorta is likely going to be out for the remainder of the 2025 season, which sucks. He was the Detroit Lions' third highest receiving leader. And then after him, it is Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. So the Lions have Amon-Ra St. Brown with 700 plus yards, Jamison Williams with 500 plus yards, Sam LaPorta had 400 plus. Then it was Jahmyr in the threes, David Montgomery. Where is Isaac Tesla, bro? Like, and again, praying for Sam. Glad he's okay, and that's the most important thing. But we are going to have some conversations, man. Like, we've been talking all week long about Brad. All week, the month of November, how it's gone. We lost to the Minnesota Vikings. We lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. Brad Holmes was ghost at the trade deadline, both figuratively and literally, right? And now the Lions are 6-4. Now you could argue as well that the Buffalo Bills are 7-4. So if the Lions win, as they should against the New York Giants, that we'll go over some numbers today, then they should be 7-4. But speaking of Buffalo Bills, we got to talk about that too, man. I told y'all, man, sacks wins games. If you got an offense to match, sacks win games. The Houston Texans had 8 sacks yesterday on Josh Allen. 8. They went from middle of the pack to second, and actually they're third in sacks. It's the Denver Broncos, the Atlanta Falcons, and now the Houston Texans, who were rushing 4 yesterday. They were rushing 4. They only blitzed a handful of times, bro. And I was talking to somebody off the air. And by the way, Braylon, I don't know who is doing this, bro. I don't know who's doing this, but you were hitting on Lions Syndicate. And I almost stripped all the moderators away, and because I don't know who's doing it. So I went through my block list yesterday and saw you sitting there. I'm like, yo, what the heck is going on? So I might have to reassess my moderators, man. But shout out to everybody in the chat today. We got Crown B says, talk to us, bro. What we gonna do? What tight end are available? We gonna roll with what we got. We're going to roll with what we got, bro. Dan Campbell was very clear today that Brock Wright. We also signed Anthony Fursker as well, the tight end. We got Lauren. What up, though? Lauren, where are you at, bro? Did I send you your are you at 12? Braylon says, love Brock, but he's too slow. What up? Sion says, hi. We ain't going to get now. We ain't going to get now 9. Remember, we good. Shout out to Fave. What up, though? Josh in his bag. What up, though? It's been a dog's age, bro. What up? What up? Bro was there. Let me see. Bro was there for us on every third down. Yeah, man, that song, bro. So that song came from Spider-Man Miles Morales. It's one of the, it plays within like the first 5 minutes, bro. And it's funny because I kind of slept on it. Then I wind up playing Spider-Man. I played Spider-Man 2. I platinumed it. Then I went to Miles Morales, and when I went to it the second time, I was like, yo, man, I was really sleeping on this song. So, and I think it fits with not only my YouTube journey, but also the Detroit Lions as well. DJ Reed and Rodrigo back this weekend. Braylon, is that what you got? Because I don't know if I got that from Dan Campbell, but I could be wrong. Braylon with the super chat says, Brock Wright will take over for LaPorta. I love him, but he's way too slow. What up, Raw Detroit? Hey, Raw, don't even get me started, bro. Don't even get me started. I mean, Will Anderson Jr., Daniil Hunter, and we got Al-Qadim Muhammad, bro. Like I last night, and you know I've been taking a Twitter hiatus. This is my 5th straight day off Twitter. So I am still taking DMs. I am still liking people's posts if you tag me. But I have been essentially off Twitter for the last 5 days. And I said to myself, you know what, Derek? You know, I think I'm going to chill out. I think I'm going to wait, and I'm going to see how this thing play out. And when February comes and the Lions aren't in a Super Bowl, then I'll speak. That's when I'm thinking about coming back to Twitter. Yeah, so I did unblock I unblock you, B. Let me see. I never block anyone, only the bots during the watch parties. Yeah, you know, I don't know who it is and what happened, man. You know what, Lauren? I thought you were at 12, bro. I did. If we don't link up, I'll send you the helmet, my brother. We got Wilfredo. What up, man? With the super chat says we should play both Monty and Sonic and alternate them on wide receiver and RB. You need a tandem in the pass rush position. Hutchinson needs a partner like Hunter and Anderson. What up, Dennis? We no longer are top 5 in sacks. No, Braylon, we are not. We are now down to 7. We weren't top 5 going into yesterday. We were 6, and now we're 7. The Houston Texans pushed us down. So we are 7. And I said this in the video yesterday. We were 2nd, we were 4th, we were 6th, now we're 7th. Now we're 7th. And I said, you blink your eye, we're going to be out of the top 10. You blink your eye again, and we're going to be 15. And that's what I'm saying. I think that the longer the season goes on and the Lions can start winning and it changes everybody's, they put the rose colored glasses back on. But when we don't reach the inevitable goal of the Super Bowl, because let's be real, y'all think we getting there? Not really. I mean, the Rams are a better football team right now, right? Their offense is on fire. It's on fire. So unless our offense gets it together, the defense is playing lights out. And just think about this, y'all. We don't even have a pass rush. Imagine if we did. Imagine if we had a pass rush, bro. It's a wrap. It is a wrap. That's crazy. It's just so irritating to think about, man. I ain't worried. I know you got me. Oh, yeah, I know, sir. I know. When people hit their milestones, I like to get them out, bro. I like to get them out. So Lauren, if you sent me an email already, I have it. I'll try and get that out today, bro. I got to go get my son's haircut, so we'll go out there. Hutchinson needs a dude on the other side. Brad, get it done, man. What are you waiting for? Raw, you know, just like I know, man, it's too late. It's too late. And now we lost Sam LaPorta, so let's talk about it. So it came out today. We knew Sam LaPorta was on IR, and we knew that he was going to be on IR for a minimum of 4 games. Then we find out that it was a back issue. Okay, that's what Dan Campbell said. It was a back issue. We didn't know how much of an issue until today. Sam LaPorta is out. He is out and unlikely to return this season. He had back surgery. Now, when I saw the tweet and I saw back surgery, I was like, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. If he comes back this year, that'll be amazing. Because if anybody has had, listen, I was in the car yesterday and I was driving, sitting in my car. I sneezed. I felt lower back pain. Yes, I'm 46 years old. Sam LaPorta is in his 20s. I'm 20 years old, but still, the back is a very fragile thing. It's amazing that more people they don't have back injuries. Then it came out through the grapevine. I didn't hear this directly or read anything about it, but I believe it now that Sam LaPorta had a cracked vertebrae. Like, yo, that's a really big deal, right? And so when you start talking about the back, you start talking about longevity, well past not only the NFL season, his NFL career, but his life. And so Dan Campbell did let us know that he's going to be, for the long term, the surgery was a success for the long term. And one thing I can say about the Detroit Lions is they love their dudes, and they will make sure that their guys are ready to play. They do prioritize health. But now we got a situation. We have a situation. The Detroit Lions offense was already struggling. And even with that being the case, we were still top 5 in offense. We were still able to put up points because of how our offense has been running. And we got a stud in St. Brown, who's also dealing with a injury himself. He's our leading receiver. Jamison Williams, a couple hundred yards under him, and he hasn't even been utilized to the fullest potential. Then you trickle down. Where's our third wide receiver at? Is it Khalif Raymond? Nope. Is it Isaac Tesla? Heck no. It is Sam LaPorta with 489 yards. 40 receptions, 489 yards, 3 tutties, and he averages 12.2 a catch. The Lions now are missing their third wide receiver. And I know that a tight end catches the football, but he's not a wide receiver. That's not what he is. What are we going to do now? Yes, we got Brock Wright. Yes, we signed Anthony Fersker. But where's our third tight end? Now, we're going to need a third wide receiver more than ever. We saw what we were lacking with Sam LaPorta missing that Eagles game. That blitz was coming. The front four was getting to Jared Goff, and there was no outlet. It was Amon-Ra St. Brown who couldn't catch anything. Jamison Williams was doing his thing. After that, nobody else. Khalif Raymond, MIA. And I don't know how much to put. I don't want to put anything on Khalif. He has to be in the game. Tesla, he got to be in the game. I don't blame Tesla for his inactivity. He's not out there. He has to be out there. So the Lions, imagine if we had a third wide receiver. Now that Tim Patrick trade ain't looking too good. I mean, to me, it wasn't looking good from the very beginning. And you know how I was on Tim Patrick when we signed him. He proved me wrong and did his thing. We traded him away. I'm assuming he was going to play Isaac, and we don't even do that. Jahmyr Gibbs is after Sam LaPorta. Then it's David Montgomery. Then it's Khalif Raymond. Then it's Isaac Tesla with 56 yards. Isaac Tesla has 50-some-odd yards. I wish we still had Zach Ertz. You know what, Braylon? Zach Ertz, I can't even believe he was on this team. Like, he never played. We signed him, if you're unfamiliar, in 2023, Sam LaPorta had a leg injury. We go sign Zach Ertz to the practice squad. But we never played him. We never played him. He never suited up. The next year, he winds up, I don't know if he wind up joining a team before the year was out. I think he didn't, but he wind up signing with the Washington Commanders. He's their number 1 tight end. And Zach Ertz is by no means washed. He's on my fantasy team, making some outstanding catches the past 2 years. Of course, it would have been great to have him, but that was 2 years ago, right? So now, this is, to me, concerning. And any Lions fan that says it's not, I think you're trying to fool yourself. I really do. Raw Detroit says they have to use Tesla even more now. You would assume so. Lane says, we've seen people retire over injuries like this. You know what, bro? I actually thought about that. Because I hope it doesn't come to this, and we're not trying to be hyperbolic here, but a back injury, dog. I drive. So I'm driving from these games, 10 hours, and I don't know if it's my car, my back, whatever. So after a good 6 hours, the left side of my back begins to tighten up. And all I'm doing is literally sitting in the car. I couldn't imagine getting hit, which is probably what happened to Sam a few games ago. But I am glad that the Detroit Lions are prioritizing his health. Obviously, they were going to do that. I'm glad that the surgery was a success. I'm glad that he has essentially Sam LaPorta now, if he's done for the year, he's probably going to have we'll see if he's ready for training camp and stuff like that, which is in 8 or 9 months from now. But it also begs the question for this. Now, going into year 4, because we talked about it previously, Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, entering year 6. Sam LaPorta, Brian Branch entering year 4. And because they were both second-round picks, what happens in year 4? It's the last year of their deal. So what does this mean for Sam's future on the Detroit Lions? Does this mean that we extend him? Do we let him play half the year before we get it done? Do we get it done before the year starts? Or do we let him play out the final year of his contract? I will tell you this, and shout out to my guy, Spirit of Detroit, because he was the one that, I'm a huge pattern guy, and he saw this pattern. That if the Detroit Lions take a specific position of a guy that's on the last year of his deal, they're probably not going to keep said guy. So if the Detroit Lions draft a tight end, I would say within the first 3 to 4 rounds, Sam LaPorta is probably on the way out. So I don't know, man. This is a big deal. Statistically, this is a big deal for the Detroit Lions. Hopefully somebody else can step up, because Dan Campbell loves the next man mentality. I don't think there's a better coach in the NFL for next man mentality than Dan Campbell. But we have been tested 2 years ago. We were tested last year, and we're going to be tested now. Now somebody, that 3rd round pick that you gave up 3 firsts for, I'm sorry, 3 thirds, he's going to have to do something. He's going to have to do something. So we'll see what the Lions have in store as they take the New York Giants, man. We're going to see what they got in store. What's up, Psalm says, it's concerning, but someone has to step up. Other teams will begin to double someone from the offense. What's up, Art says he got speared with a helmet in the back in the Washington game. So that helmet caused the cracked vertebrae most likely. Right, big decisions by Brad Holmes this offseason. While we talk about offseason, let's talk about the game for Sunday. Denzel, because it matters. It matters, bro. But we got a lot to talk about. Don't worry, bro. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. So speaking of the game for Sunday, who y'all got? Who y'all taking the game? We found out today that Jameis Winston is going to go. And the Detroit Lions don't really have the best history against Jameis. I think the last time we played him was, man, it's been a minute since we played Jameis. He was still the starter in Tampa. And Matthew Stafford was still our quarterback. So if I'm not mistaken, I think he was, because he hasn't been a starter really since, and we haven't really seen him. But, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, Jackson is out. I say we still win this game. Braylon, we absolutely should win this game. This is what I was afraid of, Derek. Now, like you said, and like I said, we should have gotten an edge rusher a while back, and a year ago, the year before, now Brad probably wishing he had made a move more than ever. Yeah, you know what? I was telling my wife this yesterday, because I was telling her, I was like, yo, it just don't feel the same. Like, it doesn't feel the same. And I said that there's been more dialogue on Brad Holmes in the last this year than there's been. And I think that that's only going to get more. There's going to be more and more dialogue on Brad Holmes. Last time we faced him was 2023 when he played for the Saints. He played that. Oh, wait a minute. Is that when Derek Carr got knocked out of the game? Is that when Bruce Irvin put Derek Carr out of the game? I didn't even know that, bro. That's crazy. We played Jameis in 2023 against the Saints. So that was it. Because if we don't show up the remainder of the remainder of this game, it could be an early exit in the playoffs. What's up, Bucky? Says Syndicate Sports Detroit. I got to say, I'm loving the consistency on the live streams lately, getting me through work. Yeah, Bucky, I'm trying, bro. I really am. I got like a bunch of channels. I'm going to have to condense a lot of them and figure out how I want to do this thing. But this, there's so much potential on this channel. And we're not even really moving yet. Like, we don't have, Spirit of Detroit hasn't made a video yet. He'll get around to it one day. Nick, I still haven't. I need to remind myself after this stream to check on Nick. So we're just getting started, man. We are. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do the best I can do. Let me see. In the name of the Warriors, Brad, come out. Hey, stupid, bro. Do you have faith in Brock, or do you think we bring somebody in? I don't not have faith in Brock Wright. He's just not Sam LaPorta. You know what I mean? And I think as far as bringing somebody in, you could always bring somebody in. You know what I'm saying? This is the time of year that there's never too many bodies. There's never too many bodies, man. We still have 7 games to go. So unfortunately, someone else is going down. Somebody else is going down. That's just how it's going to be. Brian Burns and Abdul and Kayvon about to give our own line work. Yeah. 100%. A question for you, Derek. Now with everything going on, what do you consider for next year now since everything has been abysmal between the difference, the secondary and the outfits? Which one do we go? I don't know, man. That's all about what Brad and them see. Do we need to have a conversation about the medical staff, Derek? I don't know, Braylon. That's a good one. That's a good one. What's up, C? C Pool with the super chat says, my friend is a season ticket holder for the Giants. She said they're playing hard for Kafka. Players love him. I'm assuming that is the interim coach. The same type of situation with Antonio Pierce a few years ago with the Raiders, right? Listen, I said that. I've said that, bro. Like, it's something about interim coaches. When your coach gets fired and you play as hard as you can for the guy that stepped up, because it not only does it affect the coach, but it affects the team. You know what I mean? Like, because you feel like you got this guy fired. You feel like your play on the field was the reason he got fired, right? So I believe that 100%. Okay, Bucky says, would you trade Aiden if the result was similar to the Dallas with the Micah deal? They got Quentin and still had draft capital. You know what, bro? Bucky, I wouldn't, because Aiden is that. I mean, the dude is all we have. And I'm like, I would hate to trade him before we got somebody to run on the other side of him, like a legit guy to run on the other side. What's crazy is I'm starting to have more faith in the Pistons winning a title over the Lions. Speaking of the Pistons, man, they're playing very well. Who y'all taking tomorrow, Milwaukee or Detroit? What up, Run? Says, what up, Derek? How is it that the Eagles lucked out with having a healthy roster and the Lions can't? That's a great question. That is a great question. Let me see. I don't, if you mention this, OG, but do you think Tesla will get more targets now with LaPorta out? You know what? Let's have a conversation about it. All right, so Hoodie Boogie 313 asked a really good question. He said, do you think Tesla will get more targets now with LaPorta out? That's a great question. And I'm wondering, why hasn't he got any already? Now, you can put it on the new offensive coordinator. The Lions are going through it this year. They're going through a transition. They really are. They have, for the first time since the team has been rolling. This is the first year without Ben Johnson. The success that we have had as on offense up until this year has come from Ben Johnson. I hate to say that. I hate it. It grinds my gears to say, but I gotta say it. So we weren't having any success. We saw fire Anthony Lynn. Dan Campbell was taking over play calling, but Ben Johnson was he was kind of like in the wings. Then he officially took over in 2022, 2023, 2024. All 3 of those years, he was up for a coaching job the next year. It was Carolina, then it was Washington, then it was something else, and now he's the head coach of the Bears, which I would never forgive him for. So that's one thing. But now the Lions are going through this transition. We bring in a guy that was here before, but he can't seem to keep a job. And Johnny Morton, I don't know. Now his play calling has been revoked for the rest of the year. And that is a bad sign for his future with the Detroit Lions, specifically at OC. Now, Dan Campbell could be a nice guy and keep him on the staff. I don't know. We didn't keep Anthony Lynn on the staff. I know it's 2 different scenarios, but still, I think you got to cut ties. You got to let him go. Because I think he lost the respect of the players. That's just me. So now we move on to this year. And why did we draft a guy and then trade a guy and then don't even play the guy we drafted? How does that offensively make sense? So let's take a look. I want to show you guys what our offense, and it's the more that you look at this, it's kind of sad, because the Lions offense has been top 5 most of the year. I mean, we put up 52 points. We put up 40-some points. I mean, we scored 140 points in 3 games. And that's without a third wide receiver. I want to show you what the Lions numbers are. Here are the Lions numbers receiving-wise. Amon-Ra St. Brown is the number one by far. 94 targets with 735 yards. He's been that guy, though. Yes, last year he was, what was it last year? Some preposterous number. He had 15. He had massive amounts of targets and catches. Then you go to Jamison Williams. Jamison Williams, his targets, he has 44 less targets than St. Brown. You can see now, but we already knew this. Jamison Williams is a big play dude. Big play guy. 18.1 per reception. This dude averages almost 2 first downs every time he catches the ball. He has by far the longest reception on the team. But I want you to look at this list. Then we have our tight end who's lost for the season, who has 19 less targets than our second wide receiver. Then look who our fourth receiving leader is. Our running back. Then it's our other running back. Then it's a wide receiver. We have this, ladies and gentlemen, is wide receiver 3. This is wide receiver 3. No, not all of them. This guy here. He's wide receiver 3 with 10 games played, 13 receptions, 17 targets. That's not a bad average. 113 yards. And then the guy that's going to replace Sam LaPorta, his numbers are going to go up. And then the guy we drafted for. This is one reason, along with John Morton, his stubbornness, along with the change from Ben Johnson. This is one reason that our offense hits bumps. I truly believe that because I'm a numbers-based guy. When we had 2 years ago, it was Josh Reynolds was wide receiver number 3. Last year, wide receiver number 3 was Tim Patrick. This year, the guy who should be wide receiver 3, even if you say it's Khalif Raymond, wide receiver number 3 has 113 yards off of 17 targets. No wonder our offense is stale and it hits like lows because you take these 2 guys out of the equation, who do we have left? Who's catching the football? So you take him out, he's now out, you take him out. And we've seen all of this happen. There is a 44 target discrepancy between St. Brown and Jamison Williams, and they've played the same amount of games. I'm putting that on Morton. I'm putting that on Coach. We got a super chat. Lupe in the building. Appreciate you. Says, hey, D, crazy take. I know it's not a good look, but when Johnny Mo said the line was not good, he may not have been lying. He might have been on to something. Well, he was definitely on to something because the line is not what we're used to. That offensive line ain't nowhere close to what you lose. Taylor Deckard has lost several steps. Frank Ragnow was super important to this team from pointing out coverages to everything. I mean, man, do we miss him. Man, do we miss him. So there's a lot of reasons. B. Orlando says wide receiver 3 could be Tesla. Let me ask you this, bro. Why is it not been Tesla? Okay, I'll give you Sam LaPorta. I'll give you that. Tesla's a rookie. Sam LaPorta is in year 3. You know, he's got the suave. He's got the experience. I get it. Why isn't Isaac Tesla at least in the top 5, bro? The dude is literally the last person on the Detroit Lions list, according to ESPN, to catch a football. Look. Okay, good. You can see here is everyone who has caught a pass, according to ESPN, for the Detroit Lions. This is every single person who's caught a pass. And the guy that we traded for is dead last. Why is that? And then to make it more glaring, Why did we trade away Tim Patrick if we were going to do that? So Cohen says it's the offensive play calling. I agree. It's nothing else. The guy's been available, right? He had the oblique situation, but he still wasn't out the game. He played. Of course, it's the play calling. That's what I'm asking. That's the why I'm referring to. Why are we not calling the plays for this guy to play and get the ball? Hey, Lori. Gabe says, I'm ready to sim to the next season at this point. I'm not quite there yet. That's crazy. I like him. Any other team would have used him tremendously by now. Josh, we will get back. I'll make a video out of that. Run says, not having wide receiver 3 is the reason we're not as good or consistent in the red zone, and our third, fourth down efficiency in the red zone is not as good last year. I agree with that 100%. 100%. But we'll see. We shall see. Why? Put in the comment section. Why do you think we're not playing Isaac Tesla when we obviously we traded Tim Patrick for a reason? And you would assume that that reason was Isaac. Why is he last on the list? He is last on the list. I'm going to bring it in here again because it's shocking. It's shocking to look at. Isaac Tesla has been targeted the least amount of times. He has the least amount of receptions and the least amount of yards. Why give up draft capital and trade away? I could see if you kept Tim Patrick because you're saying, okay, this guy is a rookie. We're going to give him some time to get acclimated to the NFL, and we're going to keep a veteran. But we trade this guy. And then the guy that we obviously was going to replace him is literally last on the team in targets, receptions, and yards. Something's got to give. Something's got to give. Who do you blame? I don't blame Isaac for sure, but somebody is to blame, and something's got to change because now Sam LaPorta's out, and that's a big deal. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Okay, Josh with a great question. I'm going to pin that, bro. I'm going to pin that. I got an answer for you, but I'm going to pin it. I'm a definitely. Hey, bring back Chark. Is Chark even in the NFL? Oh, man. See, Poole with the super chat says, could it be Tesla is getting outplayed by Raymond in practice? You know what? See, it could. I'm not there, so I don't know. But at the same time, I will say this. Khalif Raymond is a vet, bro. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. Khalif was looking good in camp. I mean, he was looking smooth. And I know Terrion was looking good as well. But Khalif, because remember, Khalif was like hurt last year as we went on that playoff run. I don't think he played in the Washington game, right? He might have. I can't remember. But he looked really good, bro. Like he looked smooth. He looked fluid. He looked like he was going to be. So I'm not even going to put that on Khalif, man. Khalif, Khalif Raymond is he's third from last in receiving. The offense runs through St. Brown. St. Brown is essentially the offense. It ain't even Jahmyr Gibbs. It's St. Brown. Bruh, is Herman Moore available? That is funny. DJ Chark is a free agent. That is something. What's up, Will? Will says, hey, Derek, I will be honest. I think Howie Roseman is more aggressive than Brad Holmes and has more success than him. If Brad were aggressive like Howie, the Lions would have already won the Super Bowl. You know what, Will? I am not going to disagree with that. That's actually a great take for overreaction. That's actually, yeah, and I think it's facts. And I think if we would have saw that aggressive general manager in 2023, we win a Super Bowl. We beat the Chiefs to start the season. Yes, they were without Chris Jones. Yeah, they were without Travis Kelce. But I think we beat that team. That was probably up until this year the weakest Chiefs team under Patrick Mahomes. Do you understand? Check this out. It's so crazy that this year is the first time that okay, first of all, this is outstanding. The Houston Texans have now jumped the Chiefs in playoff seeding. And they're still on the outside, but they're number 8. I think the Chiefs are 9. if this will be the first time, remember now, the Chiefs have won the AFC West for like years. Like it's been 9 straight times, something crazy like that. They've always won their division. This will be the first time, if Patrick Mahomes does indeed make the playoffs, that it was not that he's a wild card team. This is crazy. This is crazy. Holmes is scared to be aggressive. They should bring back Zach Ertz or sign everything. Okay, Boogie, appreciate you, bro. He is the starting tight end for the Washington Commanders. You can't trade him. If the Washington Commanders waived him, he's got to go through waivers. He'll never make it here. He would never make it here. Cohen says, who do I got in the Super Bowl? You don't want to know. You don't want to know, bro. You don't want to. Fresh and Fly, what up, though? What's up, bro? It's been a minute. Let me give you the air horn because it's been a minute for you, bro. I haven't seen you in a minute. I seen you on Twitter, but I ain't seen you or Instagram. So you get the. I haven't seen you in a minute. Fresh and Fly says, hot take. Since we don't have the same efficient offense to convert on fourth down, maybe Dan should start taking the points and using Bates' legs. If we go for it on fourth and midfield, take the field goal. I cannot disagree with that. The only thing I would say is you got to get a brother chances to kick in game. You got to give him, Jake Bates has a monster leg. It kind of annoys me that he doesn't have the record because I think he's capable of getting it. I don't think he's on like Aubrey's level or even Little, right? He'll get, this is only his second year in the NFL. But I think he could be. I think Jake Bates could be top 3 kicker, top 5, but he got to get a chance to kick. I really do. That's a good take though. At the 2023 deadline with Montez Sweat right there, could have got us over the hump. What up, D-Money? What up? What up? What's up, nephew? Lou, what's good with you? Another, let me see. Super Bowl might be Pats Eagles. Do y'all really want to know my Super Bowl matchup? You really want to know? Will says, Brad, go get Danielle Hunter in 2023. Opposite of Aiden, you would have an unstoppable defensive line. The offense was rolling last year. I'm blaming Brad for not making this move. Always will. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. Hey, mister, I'm picking the Rams. I'm picking the Rams, bro. I'm picking the Rams to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I am. I can't. I mean, makes me sick, bro. But I got to give credit. The way that the Rams have built that team, I got to give credit. We don't even have a third wide receiver. The way that they're playing, like the Rams are, I got us losing the game in 3 weeks. AFC is a little bit more tricky. It's a little bit more tricky, man. That I can't really decide on the AFC yet. I wouldn't quite count out the Chiefs. They got to make it in the playoffs first. I wouldn't quite count them out, but I got the Rams representing the NFC, bro. Got to. Time for Brad to drive the die. Hey, kid, don't even joke like that, bro. That's not, look, yo, that's not even funny because, like I said earlier, as Spirit of Detroit pointed out, if Brad takes if there's a guy entering the last year of his deal and then Brad takes that position relatively high, that guy is gone. The guy that we drafted that's on the last year of his deal, he's probably not going to be resigned. We took a tight end. We took a tight end. So we traded TJ Hawkinson, then we took a tight end that draft. But that's one kind of stat that the Lions kind of do. C. Poole with a super chat, keeping me afloat today, says, the Texans have Mills. Do you trust Allen if Goff goes down? Hecky no. And look, Mills was serviceable, bro. That defense, you know this. But they were wrecking balls yesterday. I was watching, and Josh Allen is that dude. And you don't see him running for his life. He usually making you look stupid. Josh Allen makes people look stupid. They were like, sit your butt down. You get your hands off me. No matter what he was doing, he was twisting, he was turning, he was juking, and they were like, get over here, sack. I was just like, and I'm sitting there like, I wish, if only. If only. Did y'all know that the Houston Texans have the number 1 defense in the NFL? Did y'all know that they predominantly sacked him rushing 4 guys yesterday? that offensive line was looking terrible. And I just was dreaming. I was literally watching the game, daydreaming about a defensive line, a front four that can get to the quarterback. Texans had 8 sacks last night. Yes, they did, Chris. And now they are number 3 in sacks, which puts your Detroit Lions down to 7. Now, remember I said in a video earlier this week, you'll blink your eye and the Detroit Lions will be out of the top 10. You'll blink it again. They'll be in 15. And going from number 2 to number 15 will finally prove my point. It will finally prove my point. But you know what I realized, guys? That if, it was kind of a rhetorical question, you know. Just imagine if we had a line like the Texans, we can only dream. Let me see. He didn't lose it either. Let me see. C-Pool, let's be real. The Texans did not win because of Davis Mills. Yeah. I was so jelly of that Houston defense. Danny, don't be jealous, buddy. Don't be jealous because you've got Bradley, Matthias, Jerome, Cornelius, Leonardo Holmes that said, we good. Don't be jealous, bro, because your general manager believed in the defensive line that much. A guy that's hurt in Josh Pascal. Love you, bro. Fight, win the battle, right? None personal. A guy that's hurt with Levi Andrew Wuzurike. A guy that's hurt in Marcus Davenport. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous because Brad will get it done. I'm going to lose it Sunday if we use Aleem again at DE. Kirby is not going to be back this week, Cohen. He's not going to be back. I'm surprised they haven't put him on IR, but he's going to miss. Yes, we've got Ahmed Hassanin, which, by the way, I love this. Okay, so Mr. says, we do got a top 10 defense. And that's a fact. Like, so I think that people are one thing I love about fans is we're so crazy. Like, fans are crazy that I can say something in a video and it's completely ignored because of the fandom inside of a person. I say, and what is the thing that I've been preaching about the pass rush? Like, so the Lions were second in sacks. So they have, I guess you could say they have a pass rush. But when I speak of pass rush, I'm talking about a front four. I'm talking about an edge and defensive tackles. Now, up until this year, our defensive tackle, Aleem McNeil, was holding down the entire defensive tackle position. Like, DJ Reader had 3 sacks. Aleem McNeil had 7.5, got hurt. Okay? They were the defensive tackle position. Opposite Aiden Hutchinson, you cannot name anybody that contributed at all. Romeo didn't. Now we get to Al-Qadim Muhammad. Y'all ready to put this guy as an elite pass rusher. I put a poll out, and some of y'all said he was elite. Some of y'all said great. I think he's good. And one more sack, he'll have a career high. But like we discussed in a video the other day, somebody else had a career high of 7.5. Trey Flowers, who did absolutely nothing as a Detroit Lion. You don't all of a sudden become a double-digit sack guy if your career high is 6.5 sacks. That doesn't just happen, right? There's a reason. For all that love James Houston was getting with Dallas, James Houston, I really haven't heard anybody talk about him in the last month. Because James Houston has one trick, run. It is run. I saw James Houston, I'm not even kidding. It was a game within like the last 3 weeks. This guy, I'm not even kidding. He came off his feet. The offensive lineman who outweighs James Houston by 75 pounds literally picked him up and put him on the ground. Let me see. Any bets on how long Marcus Davenport makes it after he returns before he goes down again? How about this, Chris? Well, no, I was going to say how long before he comes back, but his 21-day window is open. I think the Lions got to make a decision in the next 15 days. So that's a great question. Kia Rapper says a week. Okay, Will says, Josh Pascal getting healthy actually might be good. He can kick off the rust his first game. Then we'll be able to be good moving forward. Look, I mean, I would love that. I would love that. I mean, Josh Pascal, he's been going through some stuff. You know, if it feels bad to kind of be critical of him because he's dealing with life issues. You know what I'm saying? Like bigger than football. So I don't know. I'm kind of wondering if the Lions. I feel like they're going to extend him. I think, or not extend him, but sign him to a 1-year deal. I think he's going to be this year's Levi next year. Hopefully Thanksgiving don't get ruined this year. I know, bro. I know. This game, the Giants game, is a trap game, high key. Rodrigo and Reed are trending to play this Sunday. Chris, Braylon said that, and I didn't hear Dan say that, but that's great. That's great. Anzalone going after this year? Yes, he is. They really got Aleem playing DE? Yes. So Aleem McNeil has played 13 snaps at defensive end. He played 7 in the Eagles game. 7 snaps. All right, so let's do this video, and then because I gotta do 2 videos in 15 minutes, and that's gonna be hard for me to do. That's gonna be hard for me to do. Okay. All righty. Man. Let's have this conversation. All right, so we had a question in the comment section, and I think it's intriguing. I think it's worth the conversation. Josh Rock Music says, would you sign OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., vet wide receiver, probably looking for a chance on a contender, maybe could give a spark to our offense? First of all, bro, that's a great question. And I'm not going to argue with that or try to be snazzy and have a clap back. That's a great question. Would I sign Odell Beckham Jr.? That I don't know if I would sign OBJ because of the history of Odell Beckham Jr. Not just on the field, but from a diva standpoint. However, you do make a good point. Vet wide receiver, probably looking for a chance on a contender, maybe could give a spark to our offense. It really depends on what Odell Beckham we get. Now, the Detroit Lions, don't get it twisted, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a level 1 diva. That's 100%. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. St. Brown is a diva. He's level 1. All right? You can have A.J. Brown, diva. Antonio Brown, diva, right? Also loony, but you get what I'm saying. So could we stomach? We also signed Jamal Adams last year, and he ain't just, top of the morning, right? He got his little, he had some situations. He didn't last on the team, but we signed him. It depends on what OBJ we get, because as we discussed earlier in this live stream, is the Lions are lacking a third wide receiver. You can blame that on the offense. You could also blame it maybe on the inexperience of the guy they traded up for. Maybe there's a reason Tesla is not. Maybe there's a reason Isaac Tesla is at the bottom of the receiver list. He has the least amount of receptions. He is literally last on the Detroit Lions receiving list. He's got 4 receptions, 8 targets, 50 some odd yards. He is literally underneath. He is the last person, the lowest person, meaning in receptions, targets, all of that, to catch a football from Jared Goff in 2025. Now, Odell Beckham Jr., he did help the Rams win a Super Bowl. I'm just saying, he could provide the spark that we need at a third wide receiver. Is he ready to be a Detroit Lion? And we had a discussion in a live stream earlier this week. Will grit be enough to get you to the Super Bowl? Now, of course, I don't like talking about what people once were, because we all get older. None of us are the same. We wake up the next morning and we're not the same as we were the day before. We all lose something 24 hours. Every day we lose something. But could Odell Beckham give us enough, especially seeing as how we don't have a third wide receiver? That's a great point. Our offense runs through St. Brown. Up next is Jamison Williams. Sam LaPorta was number 3. He gone. After that is Jahmyr Gibbs. After that is David Montgomery. After that, it is Khalif Raymond, Brock Wright, Isaac Tesla. There are your receivers for the Detroit Lions. Those are people who have caught passes. If you brought in OBJ, you still got to respect him. You still got to respect him. Will it work in Detroit? I don't know. I don't know that, but that is a great question. So since we're on the topic of Odell Beckham, let's look and see what are his stats. Now, last year was miserable. 9 receptions with the Miami Dolphins, right? I think he was on a couple teams. Miami Dolphins, 55 yards. And the dude is like on his last leg. He is. He's a guy that you couldn't really play all the time. So he Baltimore was 2023. He played 9 games with the Miami Dolphins. He had 18 receptions and he had 55 yards. I don't know why. I don't know if that was if I know Tua was going through it. I don't know who was getting. You got Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill. I think you still had Jonnu Smith. I think he was still over there at the time or whatever the situation. So I can't explain this. I don't know what this is. By far the weakest year that he's had. Cleveland. He did have a great couple games, not a great, This is what we're missing, though. We're missing this guy here. So I don't know. I don't know. Would he help the team? I don't think he would hurt it. But again, it's a situation of is he right? Is he the right fit? And are the Detroit Lions ready to kind of go a little bit past what they're used to? Okay, Williams says, OBJ. No. So his suspension has been lifted. It happened this week. That's why he's not playing. I don't, and that's another thing. I forgot about that. So I don't even know why he got suspended. I have no idea. But just what we know of the Detroit Lions, they wouldn't do this. Should they do it? I'll let you decide that. I'll tell you. At this point, like I said, we signed Jamal Adams. This is a pivotal year for the Detroit Lions. If they did sign Odell Beckham Jr., it would tell me a few things. 1, they know the seriousness of this year. 2, they are now starting to think outside of the box. Maybe grit ain't enough to win a Super Bowl. But even now, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they still speak on that. But yes, Odell Beckham Jr. was suspended. If you guys know in the comment section, put it in. And it was lifted. I did see a tweet that the commissioner lifted his suspension. So he is eligible. It happened this week. He's eligible to play for a team. And failed the D test. All right. If Odell Beckham can't block nobody on offensive line, we don't need him. Dennis, I disagree with that. 100%. Yes, I did say Caden Davis is on the Browns roster. So put it in the comments. Would you, okay, so that's PED is the D word. So that's different from the S word. That's different from what Jamison Williams went through, right? Jamison Williams, it was a substance. This is something else, the rugs with a D, right? And if you do YouTube, you know I said it like that. So is that enough, though? Would you not re-sign him? Okay, would you or would you not? I'm like here. If we're at the point where making our team better, if OBJ made the team better, why not? Because you're not going to get too many chances at a wide receiver. Now, do we have a guy on the team that could step up? We got Isaac Tesla, get him in the game, right? We've got Jackson Meeks, get him in the game. If you don't want to sign OBJ or any receiver for that matter, use the ones you have. Use the ones. Now, if you don't trust those guys, and as far as I know, there's no connection between anybody on the Detroit Lions and Odell Beckham Jr. And by the way, okay, something that I didn't forget and why I would have to, not be this petty. Don't forget, when Odell Beckham Jr. was released in 2021 from the Cleveland Browns, we were number 1 on the waiver wire. Y'all remember what Odell Beckham said at the time? Funny how time changed things, don't it? Now, it got him a Super Bowl, because the Rams wind up taking a chance. And that's another thing, too. So let's tackle one thing. First thing is that Odell Beckham said, I will retire before I play for the Detroit Lions. Now, ain't that about a trip? That's funny, ain't it? We sucked. We went the worst. Now we pretty darn good, right? So that's one. Now, on the flip side of that, the LA Rams decided to take a chance on him. And what happened? They got a Super Bowl. Now, granted, 2021 OBJ versus 2025 OBJ, we already know, not the same person. At the same time, if Odell Beckham makes the team better, would you sign him? I don't know. I mean, if Brad said he always trying to make the team better. So if he thought OBJ made the team better, but again, no amount of talent is going to get you on the Detroit Lions. So it is risk versus reward. Would you sign Odell Beckham Jr. to the Detroit Lions? I would say, why not? Why not? This is year 5. The noise will get louder after this year about this team. You're going to hear it. I promise you. If the Detroit Lions do not make a Super Bowl in 2025, you have now entered year 6. It's been half a decade of this regime with no Super Bowl appearances. Not only that, regression. If the Lions get eliminated before the divisional round, that's regression. If we get eliminated before the the NFC Championship game, that's also regression. So in order not to regress, they need to make the Super Bowl. If they don't make the Super Bowl, the noise about both Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, whether you want to hear it or not, or whether you want to admit it, is going to get louder. So why not take a chance? Of course, if they think, because Odell could be OBJ in the make. AB in the making. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want a cancer on the team. But if you think that you have a conversation with him, you bring him in, you fill him out, maybe he's matured. CJ Gardner-Johnson claims to mature, and he on the Bears. So I don't know. Let me know. It's a great question, though, bro. Great question. All right. Me and my son got to go get his haircut. So we're going to go. OBJ is my favorite player of all time, but ain't no way he would ever want to live here. Hey, Jacob, live here? Bro, the dude would be here for 2 months in some type of apartment in the suburbs that they put him up in. I used to live in a complex that the Detroit Lions rented during the season. It was called Lake Village of Fairlane at the time. And I don't know if they changed the name. It was on Rotunda and Greenfield, right down the street from Allen Park. When I went to go get a lease, they were like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Lions players live here for 6 months. They had a system where they lived there for 6 months. So living here, bro, look, you trying to play football. And let's be real. OBJ, he was on the Pivot podcast. He said he got unfinished business. He not trying to retire. He went on the podcast while he was suspended. So is he done this year? I feel like OBJ is going to be like Larry Fitzgerald, but I think Larry didn't play. Most of that was his choice, and now he is up for a Hall of Fame. So Larry's done. I think OBJ kind of goes out the same way, where he never officially announces his retirement. He just does. He just does, and that's it. That's it. Are we crashing out if we lose to the Giants or no? I'm not crashing out. I told y'all, man, I'm done. I might raise my voice here and there. I might scream once or twice. I'm not crashing out. I am not going to crash out. Nope. All of my frustration is saved, is pinpointed. What day is the Super Bowl on? What day is the Super Bowl on, ladies and gentlemen? February what? What day is the Super Bowl? That's the day I'm saving my crash out for. If the February 9th. So February 10th is I'm reserving all my energy for February 10th, 2026. And if the Detroit Lions are not in the Super Bowl, February 9th, 2026, that's when and I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm not going to crash out. I'm saving it though. Potential crash out. I'm done. I'm done with all that, bro. I'm done. I'm tired. I'm done crashing out for now, for this year. No more crash out. We lose to the Giants. We got a lot to talk about. Because I tell you what, we lose, which we're not, and we didn't really talk much about the Giants game, but the Lions they have a streak on the line. Haven't lost 2 in a row in over 1,000 days. Haven't lost 2 in a row since Aiden Hutchinson and Jamison Williams was a rookie. Haven't lost 2 in a row in over 3 calendar years. Should not lose. Should not lose. You're playing a pick machine. You're playing a pick machine. If DJ Reed is back, he should have a pick. Who knows? Hutch might get a pick. You get a pick and you get a pick. We should win this game. There's no reason that we should lose this game. If we do, it's probably the offensive line. Because you got Brian Burns. You've got Abdul Carter. You have Kayvon Thibodeau. Right? On top of that, the Giants are playing for their interim coach because their main coach got fired. If we do lose, it's going to be loud. 6-5, gonna be loud, gonna be a long week. I don't think that, but the good news is we got the Thanksgiving game. And just think about this. And I wanted to make a video now, but I'll save it for later. Lions got 3 different scenarios, right? You ready for this? Three different scenarios. The game is the 23rd. So in the next 6 days, one of these 3 scenarios will be the case. Scenario number 1, Lions beat the Giants and the Packers. They move to 8-4. Hope is on the come up. Faith might be a little bit restored. Now, for me, it's not going to be restored. I don't care nothing about get to the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl. That's the ultimate goal. All of this stuff is just great. This is enjoying the ride, right? That the ultimate goal is not to make it to the playoffs. It's to win the Super Bowl, right? But you got to get to the playoffs to do that. So you got 8-4. You win both, 8-4, back in the playoffs, probably leading the division at that point. Or you've got 7-5, respectable. You beat the Giants, a team you should beat. You lose to the Packers, a team you just the Packers defense is pretty good, and we have a hard time we beat the Browns defense, but they were terrible. The offense is just so bad. So you got that situation. So you got 7-5, not terrible, not where we want to be, right? But we beat the Giants. You still have a situation of can you beat another team over 500 when you played them, which the Lions only beat one team, which was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, over 500 when they played them. Then you got the dreaded, you dropped 2, and now you're 6-6 with 5 games left. You're outside the playoffs fighting to get in. And that conversation there is when it's going to be hot. A 6-6 team will be hot. That right there is a whole different spectrum of conversation. A whole different spectrum of conversation. As a matter of fact, when was the last time in the midseason, because the Lions were just 1-1 in week 2. So like, when was the last time midseason? Because we remember we were like, we would lose to the Seahawks. So we had a problem with game 2. Like the Lions still haven't started 2-0 in years. They have not started 2-0 in a long time. So, which is crazy. It's crazy. When was the last time mid-season that the Lions were 500? Not over 5, but like 500 exactly. When was that? So, yeah, there we go. How good can we be without Sam LaPorta? Great question. Great question. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show y'all something since y'all here. Again, I'm really taking this YouTube thing serious, and you guys know that I'm really trying to create something here. So I wanted to show you something that I am going to start. So this is the lower third that I've created, and I will be putting content on Syndicate Sports NFL. That's going to start. I'll probably start today, and I love the NFL, man. And I'm like, Derek, I love a challenge, and trying to grow an NFL channel is much different than trying to grow a Detroit Lions channel. I appeal to one fan base. When you start talking about multiple fan bases, in my experience, it's very difficult to break that kind of algorithm. So I really, really, really want to talk about the Houston Texans. I really want to talk about their performance against Josh Allen. So I'm going to start making videos over there, try to be consistent the same way we are over here. The only difference between, I just don't know where we are from a time standpoint. Like that's the issue over there is a time standpoint, is trying to buckle down on the time. But this seems to be working. The goal would be to have consistent shows at consistent times, hosted by different people and different topics, right? So we'll see how that goes. But I want to say thank you guys so much, man. Have a great weekend. We're going to have a lot to talk about next week, good or bad. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We are 5 subscribers away from 5,200 as well. So hopefully we would hit that today or tomorrow. All right. But we will be live on Lions Syndicate on Sunday. And I think we're doing a secondary game as well. I think we will be doing I think it's Sunday night. I think we're doing Sunday night football or something like that. We're gonna stream games that affect the Detroit Lions. Would have been much different if the Lions were 7-3 this week, but the Lions do have a chance to be in third place by the time the week is over. So I will see y'all over there. Have a great weekend. Go Lions, man. We're gonna have a lot to talk about come Monday. Get better, Sam, as well.
Hello, hello, good morning. Horns is blowing, and I'm pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty, but it's love though. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time, when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.